Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the rotor angle stability or angular stability in the power system stability. Generally we classify the power system stability into voltage stability, its load frequency stability and rotor angle stability. If we are talking about the rotor angle stability, that means we are talking about the synchronous generator stability. That is the main concern in the area of stability. Now, angular stability can be further classified as steady state stability, transient stability, and dynamic stability. Steady state stability is the change in rotor angle when a small disturbance occurs in the system. Means this is related to the small fault or small disturbance in the system, and these are not too much harmful if they are cured within time. Transient stability occurs. Transient stability is the property of the system when it recovers its previous value due to the instability that occur due to large disturbance. And dynamic stability is a kind of steady state stability, and its property is that the disturbances are very small and these are periodic in nature. Means that type of disturbances are such type which are in the case of steady state stability, but these are periodic in nature. So mainly we concerned about the two type of stability here, steady state stability and transient stability. As we are talking about the rotor angle stability or angular stability, so we have to go to the dynamics of the synchronous generator, that is the part of machine also. So here we have taken the type of the generator in the category of cylindrical machine, so that we can choose a proper expression of the power that is obtained from the generator. So the electrical power that is generated is P EV sin delta that we got from the generator, and we have taken this as a cylindrical machine. If we choose another type of machine, then this expression may be differ. This delta is the rotor angle, P is the power that we obtained, is the EMF generated, X is the impedance here, and this power is obtained when we have a kinetic energy due to some mechanical work done. It is equal to 1 upon 2 J omega Sm into 10 to the power minus 6 megajoule. Here we have written 10 to the power minus 6 so that we are representing it in megajoule, because power is too much in case of the generating stations. Here this J is representing the rotor moment of inertia, and its unit is in kg meter square, and omega Sm square is the synchronous speed that we can represent it in the radian per second, and omega Sm is representing the mechanical speed. This is not the electrical speed, this is the mechanical speed that is generated due to some more mechanical rotation. On the other hand, we can also see that the relation between the mechanical angle and the electrical angle is theta m is equal to 2 upon p theta e. Here this p is representing the number of poles, and if we differentiate both sides, then we get theta d theta m divided by dt 2 upon p d theta e divided by dt, and this d theta m divided by theta m is angular mechanical displacement, and theta is the electrical angular displacement, and the differentiation of these with respect to time is representing the speed. Means this omega s, that is the electrical speed, and omega sm is the electrical speed, can be related as omega s is equal to p upon 2 omega sm, and its unit is radian electrical per second. P is here number of machine poles, as we said. Now again we can write down, as we have found that omega sm is equal to 2 upon p omega s. So we can write down here in the last equation, we can see here omega sm square. Okay, if we write it in the form of omega s, then we can write down as 1 upon 2 j 2 upon p square omega s into 10 to the power minus 6. And here we have omega s, 1 omega s we have taken inside and 1 omega s we have taken outside the bracket. Why we have done this? Because we are defining this expression, and this expression is showing the m. What is m here? M is the moment of inertia, and this moment of inertia unit can be represented as megajoule per electrical radian. So this expression J2P square omega s into 10 to the power minus 6 is representing the moment of inertia. So we can represent the kinetic energy is equal to 1 upon T 2 m omega s. Again, we can also define the inertia constant h in such a manner that gh is equal to ke, means the kinetic energy can be directly related, then can be directly equalized with gh. What is g here? G is the machine rating base in MVA. For 3-phase machine we are talking about, and h is the inertia constant in megajoule per MVA or megawatt second per MVA. So we have another expression for m from this equation. From this equation we have another expression for m. M is equal to 2gh upon omega s. Again, this electrical speed omega s can be written as pi f, 2 pi f, and we have 2 pi f up to here also. If we write down 2 here, that 2 get cancelled with 2. So we get the m is equal to gh upon pi f. The purpose of taking it in the form of the machine rating base, so that we can represent it in the per unit system. As shown in this equation, m is in per unit, and we can represent, if we are taking g as the base, then we can write down m in per unit is equal to h upon pi f s is pi f second square per electrical radian. Or if we write down it pi as 180, then it's form converted into this form. Okay. Now we are going into the swing equation of synchronous generator. So let's see, we are electrical engineers, so we are deeply concerned about the stability in electrical terms. Power system stability, we are talking about the power system stability. So we are more concerned about the power in place of the torque. However, if we see that if the system is stable and we are equalizing its torque equation, then we can write down the difference between the conversion in one torque to the other type of torque, means conversion from mechanical torque to the electrical torque, means Tm minus Te is equal to Tj plus Tb. Here Tm is the mechanical torque, Te is electrical torque, and Tj is the inertia torque, and Tb is the damping torque. And if we see that the system is not stable at all, means we are considering the worst case, damping is 0 in this. In this case, the damping torque can be taken as the 0. Why we are taking it as 0? If we are saying that there is a damping means which the thing that is helping the system to come back it in its previous position. For example, you have doors, you have hydraulic dampers in your doors, and if you left a door on a particular position, then that damper helped the door to come out its in previous position. So this damping torque helping the system to get stable into its previous position. So if you are taking the worst condition, then this damping torque is 0 here. This figure shows the torque, speed and flow of mechanical electrical powers in synchronous machine. And also we have done some assumption that the windage, friction and iron loss torques are negligible in this case. Now the differential equation that is governing the rotor dynamics of synchronous machine can be written as J d square theta m divided by dt square is equal to Tm minus Te. This J here, as we are saying that Tj here, Tb we have considered 0, so we have only Tj, and we can write down Tj as J d square theta m divided by dt square is equal to Tm minus Te, and obviously theta m is the angle of radian in mechanical. Tm is the turbine torque in Newton meter. It requires a negative value for a motoring machine also, and T is electromagnetic torque developed in Newton meter. It requires negative value for motoring machine also. Now the equation that is previous, that J theta square m divided by d square, we are, as I said, we are concerned about the power in place of torque. So we have written that equation, the third equation, in the form of the power. Means we have written J omega Sm d square theta m divided by dt square into 10 to the power minus 6 is equal to Tm minus Pm minus Pe. We have written it in the form of the power. Here we have Pm is mechanical power input in megawatt, Pe is electrical power input in megawatt, and as well as we have taken stator copper loss negligible. Now we are going to rewrite this equation, okay, so that we go to a final decision. So we have written here J, we have converted the omega Sm into omega S here, as we previously found that omega Sm is equal to 2 upon P omega S. So we have written here J2 upon P omega S and 2 upon P d square theta e divided by dt square. Again we have rewritten it in this form, and again we got the expression for m here. So we get this equation m d square theta e divided by dt square is equal to Pm minus Pe. This is a type of the swing equation where we have a moment of inertia m, we have mechanical power, we have electrical power, we have a rotation angle theta e. Now again we have to proceed further in terms, because we need to find out the equation in the form of rotor angle, that is delta. So we have considered, let's consider this omega, this line, this is the rotor, and this line we have considered omega, and omega st we have taken as the base, and this is omega s, and the angle between omega and t is theta e, the complete angle, and the angle between omega and omega s is delta, that is the rotor angle, and the angle between omega s and t is omega st. Means we have one angular displacement that is dependent on time here. So what we have done in this expression, we have this rotor angle delta theta e minus omega s upon t from this diagram, and rotor angular displacement for synchronously rotating reference frame is called the torque angle or power angle. So what we have done here, we have done it first time, we have differentiated it. Okay, then when first time if we go differentiate it, then we can get d theta e divided by dt is equal to minus omega s is equal to d delta divided by dt. Okay, but omega s, now if we do the second differentiation, d square delta t by dt, here omega is constant, so it becomes 0, and we get d square delta divided by dt square. In this kind we get the relation between them, this. So we have previously equation for d square theta divided by dt square, so we can replace directly theta e with this here. So equation 5, that was we have md square theta e divided by dt square is equal to pm minus p. We have put it here d square delta divided by dt square. Again we have defined that m is gh upon pi f, so we have put it here. So again we are going to find out the expression in the form of pu. Okay, so we are dividing throughout by g, and we get the expression in pu, and pu d square delta dt square is equal to pm minus pe. Now let's see in terms of stability, what is the effect on the stability. So what we have, we find this pu equation, per unit equation. So this d square delta divided by dt square, what is it representing? It is nothing but the, and delta is the angular displacement, and if we differentiate it 2 times, that means we are getting the acceleration. So we have simply expressed it here as alpha acceleration. Now let's see, for stable system what we have, we have pm is equal to pe, means pm should be equal to pe, the mechanical power that we are giving to the system should be equal to the generated electrical power. In that case m alpha is 0. Now alpha is 0. Again this alpha, what is this alpha? D square delta divided by dt square becomes 0, or d delta divided by dt. If we say, when we get 0 here, if we integrate on both sides, then what we get? We get constant, means d delta divided by dt square. What is showing? It is showing that just in equation, this is showing that the speed is constant. It is showing that the speed is constant here is d delta divided by dt. That means the rotor is rotating, means the rotor with the same speed, the rotation angle is same at each and every time. This is the case of steady state condition. Now if we have Pm is greater than Pe, or the other case if Pm is less than Pe, then we have some value of alpha here in place of 0, means we are not getting the d delta divided by dt as constant, means speed is not constant. So for a stable system, what we have condition that d square delta divided by dt square should be equal to 0. Now in power system there is not only a single synchronous generator, there are number of generators are connected in a sequence in parallel or in the series connection, so that to get the sufficient power that will be delivered to the load side. So we are more concerned about the multi-machine system. We have two cases here. If we have the combination of generators in which we have coherent, the machines are coherent means there are two things are there, means the delta 1 here it is 2, means the rotor angle for both machine, if we have two machines, the rotor angle for both machines should be equal, means they are rotating with the same angle, and the frequency should be same. If we are talking about inherent position, that means the angle of rotation is different in both machines. We are taking example of two machines, those are connected in parallel and these are swinging coherently. So first of all, we are taking the example of the machines which are connected in parallel and swinging coherently. Here we have assumed that we have moment of inertia for first machine is m1 and for second machine it is m2 and angle of rotation is delta 1 and it's delta 2. Now we have written this swing equation separately for these terms. Now in the what happened in this case, now we have added these equations. We have added these equations 1 plus 2. If we have added these equations, so we got like this. The delta here we have written delta 1 is equal to delta 2 is equal to delta here. So we can find out m1 plus m2 d square delta divided by dt p1 pm1 plus pm2 like this. Here we have assumed m1 plus m2 as m equivalent and pm1 plus pm2 as pm equivalent and pe1 plus pe2 as p equivalent. Okay, now m equivalent is what we have m1 plus m2. If we explore this expression, we return it g equivalent h equivalent upon pi f and g1 h1 pi f plus g2 h2 pi f. Then what hq we get? We get g1 h1 plus g2 h2 g equivalent here like this. So this result can be easily extendable to any number of machines swinging coherently. Suppose we have n number of machines, so we can easily write down here h equivalent, means if we have given in any question the h equivalent and number of machines, then we can easily find out the other parameters, or if we have given m equivalent, then we can easily find out other parameters. This is the case when the machines are swinging coherently. Now other case is if machines are swinging inherently. Again we have taken the example of two machines, these are connected in this manner, and here we have m1 m2 two machines and their moment of inertias are m1 and m2 here. Now and their angle of rotation is delta 1 for this and delta 2 for this, and if the g1 is giving electrical power pe1 and g2 is giving electrical power pe2, then the direction of the power of these machines can be expressed in this these are opposing each other. Now again we have written their expression separately. Here we have theta. We can't write down delta here. We have to write down delta 1, delta 2 here. Now what we have done here, we have done here is we multiplied the first equation by m2 and the second equation by m1. Then we minus the both equation and we get the expression like this. Again we solve the equation and we got m equivalent is equal to equivalent HF, and we got the expression like this. Thank you.